This was a big week for soccer in Fort Wayne that could have easily slipped under the radar due to the lack of games being played on high school fields across the region. But the high school all-district teams were named, both boys and girls. We had a team advance to the state finals from Fort Wayne, and a team from Fort Wayne win a national championship. And to top it all off, Fort Wayne FC revealed a fresh new look as they enter USL League One. We'll celebrate the awards, we'll talk about the trophies, and we'll share our reactions to Fort Wayne FC's new brand. All that and more tonight in this episode of Fort Wayne Footy. This episode of Fort Wayne Footy is brought to you by OmniSource, one of America's largest processors, distributors, and managers of scrap and secondary metals based right here in Fort Wayne. Check out their services at omnisource.com. Fort Wayne Footy is also brought to you by LaserX, the Midwest's largest laser tag and arcade. They specialize in birthday parties, corporate team building, youth groups, sports teams, and family entertainment. I've personally scheduled events at LaserX for each of those scenarios just mentioned and have never been disappointed. You can find them at laserxfw.com. That's laser with a Z. And if you get over there, be sure to tell them Fort Wayne Footy sent you. Hey, Fort Wayne, welcome to Fort Wayne Footy, episode number 27, I think it is at this point. That's a lot of episodes we've gotten into this year. We're about 6 months into this thing, and it's been quite a ride. We'll talk about that later, but we got a lot of soccer to talk about tonight, despite, as I mentioned in the intro, the lack of games that were actually happening on fields in Fort Wayne. Let me introduce the folks on screen with me tonight. My name's Brian, hosting the show this evening here with Micah Middendorf. Welcome back, Micah. How you doing?
Yeah, thank you. It's been I know I missed last week, but it seems like I haven't talked to you guys in forever. So happy to be back.
I know we were kind of celebrating that a little bit before the show. No, just kidding. No, glad to have you back. And I know you had a tournament out of town, so you were just getting back today, right before the show, getting ready. Yeah. So glad you made it, and good to have you on.
Yeah, thank you.
Dustin Diller has been a staple on the show, and we actually did a show together midweek, a special show, which we'll talk about later tonight. But Dustin, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. It is good to have you back, Micah. We were not talking bad about you, so it's good. Although I will say, I was going to say, although Autumn's not here tonight, and all we'll hear about is how Autumn's not here. So, but no, it's good to be here. I'm excited to talk about some games that I was fortunate enough to watch last night, and it's been a good week with everything going on in soccer. I feel like this week, even though there wasn't a lot local, there was a lot of soccer happening, and so I'm excited to get into it tonight.
Yeah. We got a comment already in the chat from Dwayne Rhodes. Evening, y'all. Good to see you at the brand reveal party, and good to see y'all again tonight. Dwayne is one of the most committed Fort Wayne Football Club fans and fans of Fort Wayne Footy. Dwayne, always love to see you in the chat, and it was good to see you at the brand reveal. Wish we would have had more time to catch up and talk a little bit, but what a fun night that was. Just like I said, we'll talk about a little bit later in the show. But first, it's time for
Soccer Moment of the Week.
All right. And as I mentioned last week, whoever laughs the most when I play that goes first. So Dustin, all right, you're on.
I was waiting. If Autumn was here, I wouldn't have had to be first because it gets her pretty bad. So
it does. You're right.
Micah was just so stoic right there that he got, you must have known. You must have known that it was.
I'm used to it at this point.
He had me muted. He didn't even listen.
So my soccer moment of the week, which we'll talk about in a little bit, was I actually got to go down to Kokomo to watch the semi-state game. Blackhawk Christian played Covenant Christian last night. It was a late night. It didn't get started till an hour after it was supposed to start, and so we got home super late last night. But I was telling you guys beforehand, it was one of the best soccer games I've watched this season. And so that was my moment of the week for sure.
What was it, a weather delay or what?
No, there was a game at 1, 3, and then 5. And when we got there at we were rushing to get there, and we got there at 5:02, and there was still 13 minutes left in the girls' game beforehand. So okay. I think somehow they got delayed. None of them went into overtime, so I don't know what happened, but they didn't start till 6:00, so it was over an hour after what they were supposed to. So
wow,
yeah.
All right. Well, I heard it was a great game, which again we'll talk about here in our next segment. Micah, moment of the week, man.
I'm always a fan of a good highlight. So I saw something on social media this week where it was a double bike. So off a corner kick, a player biked it back into the box to another kid that biked it in goal. So great highlight there. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. It's been on my TikTok page. It's been on my Facebook page for the last couple of days. So every time it comes up, I have to pause to watch it.
And what's on your TikTok page? Do you dance and stuff?
No, it's
you do the TikTok dances. I know you do. That's you for sure.
Fair, I have never posted on TikTok. So
you just watch.
just doom scroll.
Yeah, just doom scroll. I get it. Dwayne also saw that double bike. That was pretty incredible. I saw that earlier today. Christina's in the chat. Soccer moment of the week was the U.S. Women's National Soccer is back, baby. Played a couple games. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and then
Thursday and today. Yep.
And today, yeah. Very exciting to see them back on the field, playing some friendlies here and testing out some of their young talent, right? They've got a lot of young players, not faces and names that we've all known and recognized over the last couple of years. So, good stuff out there on the field. I'll say that mine, go back to another highlight, right? I didn't see a whole lot locally this week, but there was a highlight from Wake Forest. You probably saw Wake Forest goalkeeper standing on the line, penalty kick coming, makes the save, ball deflects out. Another striker runs in or someone from the other team runs in, makes a save. Like he plays it, keeper makes a save, ball bounces in the air. A third time, a player from the opposing team jumps and heads it, and it's going right under the crossbar. Keeper dives backwards and knocks it over the bar. Like triple save off of a penalty. Like talk about your awareness and your ability and talent in that moment was pretty incredible. So lots of good highlights this week. And it makes me miss Micah, like seeing stuff like right here in front of me. But it just reminds me there's so much good stuff out there. If you're looking for a good game, you're looking for a good highlight, man, there's so much in the soccer world out there right now. So do you remember what game that double bike was in?
I feel like it was just a high school game, and I don't remember exactly what state it was from. To be honest, I didn't look. I was just
amazed by what happened. Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. It was pretty great. Well, that ends our
soccer moment of the week
segment. We're gonna move into some of the local things that were happening. Some of our local teams that were playing. Again, not a whole lot happening around here, but we had the Blackhawk boys competing in the state semifinal, and then we had another local team that we haven't talked much about on the show this season win a national title, and we'll tell you about that in just a moment. Dustin, you were at the game there against Blackhawk as they played Covenant Christian out of Indianapolis. The game it started late, as you mentioned. It went long because it went into extra time and penalties. Talk a little bit about that game.
Yeah. So again, and we even talked about it. One of the parents from the other team came down and was talking to us after the game, and he was just like, super great game. I think that was the state championship game right there. I think it was number 1, number 2, right, playing each other. And so, it was scoreless at half, 0-0, back and forth, both teams super aggressive, really aggressive play, but the ref was letting it go for the first half. Second half changed a little bit. He kind of tried to get control of the game a little bit more in the second half. But Covenant Christian scored 30 seconds into the second half. It was like immediately. And so kind of deflated just the whole stands for a little bit. And then Blackhawk goes down and scores within 4 minutes, and within the first 5 minutes it's 1-1. And so it was just a completely different second half. And then I think it stayed like that for quite a while until I think it was maybe 10 minutes left or something like that. Covenant goes down, scores another goal, goes up 2-1, and it's just like it's desperation mode at this point in time. Blackhawk, you could tell they were super intent on getting that goal. at 5 minutes left in the game, Blackhawk it was a beautiful, beautiful pass right through to one of the strikers, and he just put it right in the back of the net, right in front of where we were standing, to tie the game up. And then for the last 5 minutes, it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Ended up going into extra time again. There were some yellow cards that came out in extra time, just because you could tell both teams really wanted this win. And it was, from a fan's perspective, not having much skin in the game other than like quite a few friends that play on the team. It was intense for me. I was texting Kendra like during the game. I'm like, this is super intense. Some of the parents were texting some of the parents next to us saying, I'm going to throw up. I can't do this. Goes into PKs. And I know, Brian, we've talked about this from you as a keeper. Like, we were just standing there talking about, like, this would be my worst case scenario as a keeper, to have to do this in this, semi-state championship game going into PKs. And so, but you said you love it. Yeah, I was going to say, you said you love it. And that, honestly, that's how it felt from Blackhawk's keeper, who's Isaac Staten is his name. He went in, he stopped 2 of the goals. They got 1 in, and then on their 5th, I think it was their 4th or their 5th, they hit the crossbar. And so Blackhawk wins 2-1 in PKs, and it went nuts. It was a really cool thing to see. Blackhawk travels really, really well. I got there and nobody was in the stands, so I went and just kind of sat at midfield, and then it was like everyone was around me. There was not there. I mean, there was no room. I could hardly even like move around.
Semifinal, you have to travel for that, right?
Yeah. It was pretty awesome to watch. My son even said, he was like, geez, he's like, the number of people that are here for this, like, it's more than what we get at a home game for our games a lot of times. I'm like, well, it is semi-state, and this is a huge deal. It's a little different. But it was really cool, super class act, both teams. Anytime there was a yellow card, there was no mouthing off. There was no disrespect from either one of the teams, which is really good to see. And then at the end, they came together and prayed out on the field. Before then, they opened up the gates, and all the students stormed the field and got pictures and all that kind of stuff. So it was a really cool atmosphere. Kokomo's, it's a nice stadium. It's a nice little spot. Yeah. So, but mad props to Blackhawk, because they played their butts off. They fought hard, and that team was good. Covenant Christian, I give them mad props too. They were a really good team. And so to watch them both, it's always sad when you see like someone who you probably think are the best 2 teams in the state play in a game before it gets to state, when you want that to be the state championship. But very, very good game. Very, very fun to watch. And again, I just felt like even afterwards, the parents coming and talking to us and saying like, hey, they were really good. This is a great team. Like, mad props to you guys. You guys did a great job. It was a good sportsmanship to see. And we've talked about this throughout this season of games that we've seen where there's a lot of sportsmanship, and then where there's maybe not so much. And so to see a semi-state that was super intense and in the way that it did, was just, I hats off to both of the teams for the way that they represented themselves in their schools, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, we had Coach Sam Meyer on here, I believe it was last week. He's a class act himself, and just the way he leads the team and the culture that he's built there. Would have loved to have seen that penalty shootout, honestly. Like, as a goalkeeper, I said, bring it on. As a coach, I'm like, I don't want to do this, But Staten is an incredible keeper. I don't know what the stats ended up being on his goals against average and his save percentage and his shutout percentage. But man, he had a great season, and to continue it by winning the state semifinal in a shootout is pretty awesome. So you said they won 2-1, which means
in PKs.
In PK, so Blackhawk only scored 2 of their PKs.
They did, yeah. They only had to take 4. They only had to take 4 because they missed the Covenant missed the last one, so they didn't have to take that 5th shot to win it. Sure. But they missed a couple of theirs as well. It was just it's
Those are
it's
nervy
a
moments.
I know
man.
it's a
Those are nervy
pressurized
moments.
time, and so it was one of those things where it was if if we stop this one, then it's over, and then they made it, and so it was one of those back and forth things. But yeah, just a really really good. All the people around me, including Sam's wife, was standing by us, and she was like, "I can't watch it," so they walked away. They weren't watching it throughout the process, but I feel like it would be hard as a parent to sit there as well. So I get it.
So the Blackhawk Christian boys will play Indianapolis Cecina Memorial. Is that how you say that?
Yep.
Cecina
I think
Memorial. At 8:30 p.m. on
Friday.
Halloween night. Halloween night. So scary state final there coming up.
That's interesting. Why are they doing it on a Friday? Why can't?
Because they're playing. There's the 2 girls games and then the 3A boys games on Saturday. Okay. And so they're doing the 1A and 2A boys on Friday night.
Okay.
I
guess
right?
that makes sense, but
Kendra looked it up. That's the only way. So shout out to Kendra for looking that up earlier tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought they were all played on Friday, but you're right.
Nope.
And then in the 3A, I just looked up to confirm that you were correct. Harrison is playing Carmel, which is an incredible rematch because Carmel's the only team to beat Harrison all season.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They had 1 loss. It was to Carmel, which is what gave us hope as Homestead going in to play Harrison, because Carmel only has 1 loss, and that was to us all season. And so, so that'll be a battle in the 3A state championship there as well. Not to go into too much of a different direction here on this, but we've talked about penalties deciding conference games, talked about penalties deciding, state championship games or semifinal games. Micah, let me ask you as a coach, penalty overtime, then penalties, or I remember as a kid, we played sudden death overtime. Do you have a preference? If you had to choose penalties or sudden death overtime, what are you going with?
Sudden death, 100%. I would go with golden goal.
Yeah.
Back when I was playing, it was one of my first years in college, but we were in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And at that point, it was still golden goal. And we went into overtime, and 2 minutes in, our All-American forward got in behind and scored it. And it was just chaos with it. And we hosted it as well. And I just remember him just taking off and just running. And I am running as fast as I can to try to catch him. And I couldn't catch him. We did 2 laps around the field and I could not get to him. But I mean, it's for those moments, right?
Yeah.
It's PKs. I've been in PKs as a player, as a coach, as a parent. It's stressful. I would much rather win it in the run of play.
Yeah. I got mixed feelings on that. I would love to see a game finish run of play, but again, I go the other direction in the sense that when I was playing a state cup game, it was 1-1 in regulation. We got scored on twice in overtime, but you play it out, right? You play overtime out, which is why we got scored on twice. We scored 2 more goals in the last minute and a half to tie it, to send it to penalties. And the coach, because they were up 2, had already pulled some of his guys off the field, and they're taking their shoes off and their shin guards off. And because they're not on the field and club, we can't take penalties. So we win in penalties. Some of their best players were on. They were some of my high school teammates, so I knew where they were shooting, and that's how that goes. It was lovely. So I go that direction just for that. So I don't want to go too deep into that. We do want to talk about, first of all, congratulations to Blackhawk Christian boys for winning the state semifinal. We're here behind you, cheering you on in the state championship on Halloween night as we go out trick-or-treating and getting our candy. Or at least Dustin is anyway.
My kids are. I'm handing the candy out.
What's your costume, Dustin?
I don't have a costume. I have a Bob Ross wig that I'll just throw on every now and then and be like, oh, that's my costume.
I was a ninja a lot as a kid because it was really easy, and I could get candy that way without thinking about my costume. Anyway, there was a national championship winner out of Fort Wayne this last week, a team that we've not hardly mentioned on the show, a club that we've not hardly mentioned, and we need to remedy that and get someone from this club on our broadcast here sometime soon. The Fort Wayne Fusion girls, top division D1 team, goes to, I believe it was Nashville in Tennessee for, is that right? Chattanooga, Tennessee, and played 4 games. Didn't give up a goal in any of the 4 games in this national tournament. There were teams from 10 states, I believe. Is that what I read? 10 states at the event, boys and girls across 3 divisions, 50 teams total. The Fort Wayne Fusion boys placed 6th, which is pretty awesome in a national tournament. And then the Fort Wayne Fusion girls actually won it. Now, this is a homeschool league, a home educated league that gives students an opportunity to play. That are not playing for their high schools. We talk about all the time. Good teams. I know my boys' club team has played against them in the past, and like a friendly, getting ready for state tournaments and things like that. Fort Wayne Fusion has some good teams out there, and obviously one of the best in the country, bringing home a national championship. So congratulations to the Fort Wayne Fusion girls team, their coaches, their players, and all the season that they've had. It sounds like, I believe they only lose 1 senior. This girls team, so they're going to be strong. It sounds like next year maybe have a chance to repeat. And then the boys are losing, I believe, a lot of seniors, like 9, from what I've heard. So they're 6th. Who knows? Their 6th place finish at nationals could get better next year as new players come in, or maybe not as strong of a team. But anyway, we've got Andrea Woodbury saying, "Woo, go Fusion" in the chat. That's awesome. Andrew, if you got connections, if you know somebody there, a coach, head of the club, we'd love to bring someone on. I did send some messages earlier today to see what we can work out there in the future. So again, congratulations to the Fort Wayne Fusion girls and their national championship title. What a run. We're excited for you as well. We've got some college teams in the area that we haven't talked a whole lot about this season. We started to at the beginning of the year. But there's some teams that are having great seasons, making some good runs that we're looking to get some of their coaches and potentially players here on the show. The PFW men sitting in 2nd place in the Horizon League with 2 season games to play. The tournament there is November 9th to the 15th. So check that out if you want to see some good soccer, the Horizon League, and our hometown PFW Mastodons in that one. St. Francis men are sitting 3rd in the Crossroads League, which that league, I'll tell you, in NAIA,
that's
the Crossroads League in any sport is a tough league. Yeah.
Yeah. You got Indiana Wesleyan, you've got Huntington, you've got, St. Francis, you've got Grace. All of them put up strong teams, and it's always a toss up as who's going to be there. There's a few there's a few colleges that are consistently up there, but it's kind of a toss up every year as to what's going to look like in pretty much every sport, but soccer as well.
Yeah. My daughter plays in the Crossroads League volleyball, and so they've got several of their women's volleyball teams ranked right now, and even the unranked teams are beating the ranked team. Like, it's a battle in that Crossroads League. So soccer is the same, and so St. Francis is sitting in 3rd right now for that one. So get out there, cheer them on. They're on a 5-game unbeaten streak, 4 wins and a draw, and then they have one game left against Marion. So the top 8 teams make that conference tournament, which is coming up beginning of November as well. St. Francis women are sitting in 7th place, looking to secure a spot in the Crossroads tournament with 1 game left, also against Marion. And then the Indiana Tech, man, they have the Indiana Tech Warriors, which I'm representing tonight, are killing it this season. They've got, let's see, they finished 2nd in conference play. And then top 8 teams get to the conference tournament also beginning of November. So we're coming to the end of the college season here within the next couple of weeks, and then we'll roll into national tournaments after that. So there's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of good games happening. Get out there. If you're not watching high school soccer, your team's done. Your club hasn't really started yet, and you've got this like withdrawal from soccer. Get out and support one of our local teams, men or women. St. Francis, Indiana Tech, PFW. Lots of good soccer happening right now, and we just encourage you to get out there and watch. In high school related news, let's go back a little bit here. We had the all district teams announced this week. So I want to throw it to you guys here. I've been talking a lot and making some quick announcements. As you look through the list, we've got District 1 girls, District first and second teams is what was announced. It breaks them down not by state, not by region, but by district within the state of Indiana is how Indiana does it. And we'll go through the list here. And if you guys, there's players that you've seen, players that that you want to shout out, give us a little bit more information about, we'd welcome that. Some of these names you'll recognize because we've talked a lot about them on the program. So, Dustin, let me actually throw it to you. Do you want to go through that list here?
Yeah.
Starting with the District 1 girls first team?
Yeah. Locally, District 1 girls first team looks like Grace Mann from Norwell, a defensive 12th grade defensive player. Samantha, I'm going to butcher this name. Asalagi.
That's why
I knew it. I knew you did. Asalagi? Asalagi? Okay, there you go. From Bishop Dwenger. Adeline Nipstein from Belmont. And Evie Pepper from Warsaw are the local girls that were named to that. And then second team, we have Emily Barton from Belmont, the goalkeeper from Belmont. That's awesome to see her on there.
About her several times.
Yeah.
She is super strong. Really good.
Christina Sturman from Bishop Dwenger and Annika Scholl from Warsaw as well. So, I mean, I'm assuming you've played against some of these girls, Micah. Like, are you shocked at all by that, or somebody that you thought?
It's all well deserved.
Yeah.
I know Sammy Asalagi has been an absolute handful at Bishop Dwenger for the last 4 years. So I mean, huge shout out, huge props to her.
Yeah.
And then Sturman, Emily Barton, and then Grace Mann. I think she scored 200 goals or whatever for Norwell. So well deserved.
Nice. And then I guess I'll move on to the District 2 girls.
Sure. Yep.
First team, you would again, names that I'm going to butcher. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate this. I'll remember this. Destiny, is it Erxleben?
Erxleben.
Micah, you should do this. Micah, why don't you do this? Why don't you should do this. You played with these girls. These girls.
You say they've been absolute nightmares for me because they're so good. I'm looking through the list. I see Grace Mann's a senior, Sammy Asalagi is a senior. I'm like, cool. I don't have to see them next year.
Yeah.
Congrats, but
no, you don't have to. Are you gonna take them? Are you good? Why don't you take it?
Yeah, so we have Destiny Erxleben out in Northrop, very strong goalkeeper, junior there. Haven't seen Carol Homestead play, but Leah Douglas, Nadia Ford, Bryn Patterson, all out of Carroll. Audrey Johnson, who we've spoken about several times, Channing Zayroth, Braylee Morris, Ashlyn Sagan, all out of Homestead. And then the two Leo girls, Maddie Schwam and Emma Schweigert, who we play Leo every year, and they are solid players. And then Nuri Sibri Carmona, who was the SAC Conference Player of the Year as well. So very well deserved for all of those girls.
Yeah,
and I will continue
on with the second team.
Allison Heine out of Homestead, and then this one, Brooke Poppy, a freshman. Is that accurate?
It looks like it. Yeah,
one of 5 freshmen in the state. So huge props to her. And then Piper Wennemar out of Snyder, again, very solid midfielder, and gave us an absolute fits this year. So huge props to all those girls.
Nice. I'll take the boys since I threw you all under the bus.
Thank you.
There.
You're going to take the ones there's none that you're going to struggle with. So
John Smith and
exactly.
No, I didn't do that on purpose because of names, but I wanted to get your voices on the show a little bit here. So, boys District 1 first team, congratulations to James Neebs out of Blackhawk Christian, Andres Rodriguez out of Bishop Lures, Urban Ariano. I'd put him in there out of Goshen because that's a team that we've played and we've seen, we've talked about. So not really local here in Fort Wayne, but wanted to get his name out there. Hudson Douglas out of Leo, and then Sebastian Carrillo out of West Noble, which is another team that we've talked about. Some of us have seen here this season. So congratulations to those boys in the District 1 first team. District 1 second team, we have Trenton Clark out of Goshen, and then Caleb Wyke. That's what I thought it was. Wyke out of Blackhawk Christian as well, who again is continuing on to the state championship. That's the boys District 1 second team, and then we go to the boys District 2 first team. A lot of names that I'm going to recognize play on our team at Homestead. Jude Roomba, our goalkeeper there, Tyler Ness, just a solid, strong midfielder. Grady Wilkins. Again, another great midfielder out of Homestead, and then Landon Wells from Carroll, who is just a solid all-around player, whether he's playing up front, playing in the back, playing in the midfield, who we actually also ran into at the brand reveal party. So congratulations to the boys District 2 first team. Second team, we've got Carter Rowan out of Carroll, and then Peyton Strassel out of East Noble, which is a team we faced in the sectionals there. So congratulations. Those players that we just mentioned and others from the district that aren't necessarily local to Fort Wayne will actually form teams. We'll actually have games that are coming up November 8th and 9th, the all district weekend down at Fishers High School. So if you're interested in seeing one more high school game that maybe isn't the state championship, but the weekend following the state championship, there will be the ISCA all district weekend at Fishers High School. Games begin at 8:30 a.m. and continue on until the last game is played at 3:30 p.m. So it'll be a lot of soccer happening at Fishers High School that weekend. There's 2 games going at a time. Just be a good time down there. So check it out if you are looking for some soccer. It might be a little chilly, but hey, we got to get
called
used
soccer.
To that. We got to get used to that. You know why? Because Fort Wayne Football Club is going to be starting in March, and they're going to be finishing their season in November. So here in Fort Wayne, we've got to get used to some cold soccer games, right? Those are my favorite, Micah, sitting on the sidelines with you, and it's like 14 degrees, and our kids are kicking off in like end of December in a showcase at Grand Park. One of your favorite memories?
No, I remember those moments. Might be your favorite time. I am absolutely miserable though. Not a fan of winter, not a fan of being cold. And it's funny you say that because I still have 2 league games yet with my 13-year-old boys. So I have one next week and I have one on November 8th. So it's gonna get chilly really quick.
Yeah, it does. It does. I remember I might have mentioned this on a previous show talking about sectional soccer, and the deeper you go in sectionals and regionals, the weather turns and you're cold. Like it's nothing like the soccer you've played all season. No. And we had like an 80-degree game right before sectionals, and I was like, oh, it's going to be warm through sectionals. And like Tuesday it changed, and we played on Wednesday, and we had rain and wind, and it was cold, and it just happens like in a heartbeat, change in weather. So I don't know about you guys. Maybe I've talked about this too. Like I always keep like a bag in the back of my car. The winter stuff, rain stuff. I've got light jackets, winter coats, gloves, hats. Except for the one time I need it all, you know. But it's usually always there. So a word to the wise.
Always have hand warmers as well.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. So a word to the wise. If you're gonna go, if you got season tickets to Fort Wayne FC and you want to go in March and you want to go in November, carry everything with you. Always have it in your bag. Even at the end of April, it could be beautiful and sunny, but game time could be 40 degrees and rainy. Always have it with you.
You threw me under the bus earlier this season, Brian, about the time that I was not prepared. I'm prepared for every game now with whatever I need. And so, it's bipolar Indiana. You never know what's going to happen.
You know what I say to that, Dustin?
What?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Fort Wayne FC needs to get branded parkas, I think.
I'm
Like,
sure they will.
I haven't seen it in the fan shop yet, but they need like the heavy winter coats for those March matches.
Yeah. Did you know Fort Wayne FC just rebranded? Did you know that?
Micah, did you know that?
I did not know that.
They just rebranded. We'll talk about that in just a moment. If you're a fan of Fort Wayne Footy and want to help us expand our offering, consider supporting us on Patreon. Your support also gives you access to additional content and live chats, which we hope to schedule here real soon. We currently have $5 and $10 monthly tiers, as well as one-time donation options. If you're not a monthly contributor and you want to do something one time to support the show, we appreciate that. Just click buy this post to donate $15, $30, or $50 to help support Fort Wayne Footy. There's a link in the description of this video, this podcast, wherever you happen to be watching or listening. Click that, choose your tier, and we'll see you on the other side. And we want to thank those in the chat and those that aren't in the chat tonight, Christina Copeland and Ryan Smeltzer, for your support on a monthly basis there on Patreon, and a few others who have given on a one-time basis. So appreciate that. Again, we just enjoy talking more soccer and create more content and visiting with all of you over there on Patreon. So like we talked about just before that Patreon read, Fort Wayne FC had a brand reveal party this Thursday night, and Dustin and I had a chance to be there. Mm-hmm. So before we talk about the brand, the crest, the colors, and all of that, let's talk a little bit about the event, Dustin. We got an opportunity. Fort Wayne FC called us up and said, hey, if you're interested in coming and being part of this event, we'd love to have you. So we jumped at the opportunity and said, we'll host a live show from the event. And that's exactly what we did. But as we got there, we showed up. Everybody's kind of like, Dustin, like, we don't know how many people are going to show up.
Yeah.
We don't know if this is going to be a big thing, a little thing. Like, we're planning for a couple hundred people, but, and then people started showing up in droves. Yeah. Talk about your experience at the brand reveal party.
Yeah. So it was, first of all, Promenade Park, that pavilion is super nice. It's a very, very beautiful area. But as we walked in, we got there early, so we were there way before anybody came. And again, everyone's just kind of like, I don't know, who knows? We'll see what ends up happening or whatever. And then it filled. I mean, it was filled. They opened up the back because it was so tight in there. People sitting down, people standing. It was young kids. It was older adults. It was people, you've not seen before at the games. For me, it was fun. And I think, Brian, you could agree with this as well, like having conversations with people that watch us, that came up and had the guts to come up and say something to us. We're not scary, but it's like, you never want to do that, like you're always like, I don't know if I should say anything. And I appreciated that more than anything. We had a lot of really good conversations with people that just wanted to talk about soccer, wanted to talk about Fort Wayne Football Club. We had a great time with the organization. I mean, I felt like they put on an amazing event. I felt from start to finish, they had it very planned out and very well-oiled machine. And I can't remember the lady that was the event planner. You will remember. Kim. Yep. She was outstanding. She did a great job just across the board. And so, for me, it was a great experience. I was exhausted by the time we left, 100%. I slept really well Thursday night, I'll be honest.
That's just because I made you carry all of our equipment out to the car.
That's true. That's true. But no, it was awesome to see everyone show up, and again, see a lot of faces that I knew, and then people that I didn't. So it was good to see.
Yeah. Ryan says in the chat, Fort Wayne showed up for sure. And Dwayne says Fort Wayne FC fans were out in force for the event. It was so good. As they talked about, even those that got up on stage talked about, like, this is Fort Wayne. This feels like Fort Wayne. We had older adults, we had young kids that you mentioned, we had high school players, we had college coaches, we had a diversity of ethnicities there. Like, it was just cool to see that many people in a room for one purpose, to celebrate. But to get a feel for what this new brand was going to look like. There was a lot of anticipation in a short amount of time leading up to this brand reveal. So great job, Fort Wayne FC, on a great event. and like I said, it was. I love that you mentioned they opened the doors, right?
Mhm.
Because the garage doors at the pavilion there at Promenade Park, because people were just spilling out, and it was so hot and so crowded in there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was a great event. Well done. And the reason for the event, which I want to talk about now a little bit, is the brand reveal. So Fort Wayne FC has a brand new crest, brand new colors, brand new logo, brand new branding all around.
I was like, Brian, is this the time?
Is this the time?
Is this our time?
I mean, if that's, yeah. I mean, if I see some black and gold there in the side of your screen,
I mean, I thought that's what you were doing. I thought
Yeah.
that's what you were doing. I
Bring
thought
it
you
on.
thought you were grabbing yours.
I am.
I was gonna
So-
say.
I feel left out.
Well, it's because we didn't buy you anything. There at the party that we attended and you didn't. But no, I'm just kidding.
Micah, I love you. I'm glad you're here.
I'm just kidding. I'm just playing with you, Micah.
Haven't got fired yet, right?
Nope, just Autumn a couple times.
Yeah.
No, so it was a whole, build up to this event. And man, I'll be honest, Dustin, like it was, there were some black, and if you can't see it, right, it's black and gold, or the new autumn gold is the new color for Fort Wayne FC. And if you're listening later this week, go back and watch the show, or at least this segment where I don't know how many. We're 41 minutes in. So go back and watch at the 41-minute mark to see the colors. We're going to show some things up on the screen here if you haven't seen them, but I'm sure you have already. You walked in and I had a sense, like I knew what the brand was because I got some graphics, a couple hours ahead of time to build out our show, so I knew what it was going to look like. And so I knew kind of what to look for in the black tablecloths and the gold tablecloths. But other than that,
I didn't pick up on that. I did not pick up on that.
Okay. How about that?
And yeah, I should have, but I didn't.
You should have, but you didn't. So I kind of knew what to look for, but otherwise things were just like, you couldn't really tell until when they revealed it. Everything was black and gold, like the tablecloths, the things came off of the merch in the back, and they had the coverings on that. The napkin, like everything turned to black and gold. It was crazy to see that transformation. That was one thing that stuck out in my mind. So I do want to throw the crest up here on the screen here, just to give you a sense. If you haven't seen it, you haven't been on their website or their social media, if you've been scrolling through Micah's TikTok and not finding anything, let's show you the new crest. So Fort Wayne Football Club, new font, new crest. And they didn't talk much that night, Dustin, about the design of the logo. It's an F and a W with the crest outline behind it. Talk a little bit about that, just so our listeners, if they haven't seen social media, if they haven't heard what the meaning of this is, talk a little bit about the meaning, and then we'll talk about some of our reactions and responses to it.
Yeah. So first of all, I thought the video that they played right before they revealed everything was pretty awesome as well. I shared it on my social media, and I know it's all over Fort Wayne Football Club social media as well. Yeah. Just like around Fort Wayne and people talking about we are Fort Wayne. I thought that was super cool. And hidden in it was the logo, and so that was pretty cool. Right before they revealed it. Yeah. And so they didn't talk about it, and even I think DeMarcus was like, I'm not going to talk about the symbolism associated with this, and so I wish they would have a little bit, just so that people could kind of understand what the symbolism was in relationship to it, but kind of, it is an FW, and then along with that, there's certain little things in there that have a symbolism. And so the three rivers are represented in, if you actually look at the map and you can see where the three rivers converge, that's that F, where the F and the W and that straight line kind of come together. That's that. They talked about historic roots and continued growth. And so that's what those, the W is supposed to show the 80 different parks that are in Fort Wayne, the 150 plus miles of trails the trail systems that we have within Fort Wayne, because it's branches. The W is supposed to look like branches from a tree to demonstrate that. the part that I really like is the intertwine and united aspect of it. That's, to me, that's super cool. But a confluence of our innovations, cultures, ideas, and shared memories that bring our community together, which kind of is symbolized throughout the entire crest there with the F and the W. And then they changed their name to not Fort Wayne FC, which I know we're still in the habit of saying, but Fort Wayne Football Club. So yeah, I thought it was, knowing all of that kind of puts a little bit more behind the crest, as opposed to just seeing an F and a W and be like, oh, okay, it's black and gold with an F and a W. So there's some things of that I don't know, how much of it really sticks or makes that much of a sense, or I don't know. But I like it when it's put together on merch. When we talked about when DeMarcus walked out and he had his beanie on and the sweatshirt and the scarf and all of that, it looked really sharp.
He even had like shoes branded, like not really, but like he was decked out head to toe in Fort Wayne FC merch. So to be clear, like it's not necessarily a name change to Fort Wayne Football Club. It's just emphasizing the whole name as more of a, I don't know, professional brand moving into a professional league. And so you'll still hear Fort Wayne FC, but you'll hear as they talk about themselves and as we talk about them on the show and others, Fort Wayne Football Club, you'll hear, even on USL broadcasts and things. So that's the name that you'll most likely hear. Now, I do want to, we talked about this a little bit on our live show, and I want to invite Micah into this conversation a little bit because he obviously wasn't there, but like he's here now. He sees the brand, he saw the reveal. Dustin kind of threw me under the bus and these colors that, all of my rival teams, the teams that I love, their rivals all wear black and gold. And Christina's picking up on that in the chat. I dare you to wear that scarf to the FC Cincinnati crew game tomorrow. And absolutely not. I actually hesitate to even bring this out tonight because we're like less than 24 hours away from this playoff match. And so I'm a little hesitant even to like touch these colors. But I'll become a fan of the colors. I do like how they look. It's just my opposing teams always wear them. So Micah, your initial reactions, responses to the crest, the colors, and all of that.
I think for me, it was the just stark contrast of the old brand versus the new brand. And on Thursday, when they revealed it, it was actually at my school. It was athletic wear, jersey day, right? So I actually wore Fort Wayne FC kit, and we had parent teacher conferences that night. So, which is why I wasn't there. So I'm in a conference and one of the parents showed me the new logo while I'm talking to another parent, very professional. Right. And I'm like, and I looked at my jersey and I looked at the logo. I'm like, I can't wear this jersey anymore. Like and it's such a stark contrast between the blue and the reds versus the gold and black. I was a little disappointed because in my mind, I'm like, oh man, I have to buy new shirts. I need to buy new jerseys. Like I'm going to have to spend a lot of money in the fan shop the next couple of weeks. But the more that I see it, I think it's starting to grow on me. I do like a good black kit. So I know they haven't released the kits yet, but I think the black kit with gold accents is going to look really, really slick. So hopefully they'll go that direction. I'm not sure how I feel about the badge yet. In one of our chats, Paul showed, a Yankees badge and then a Mets badge. I'm like, I can't unsee that now.
I know,
right? Like there's a lot of similarities with those two, but no, I think the symbolism, the uniqueness of the little details in it, I think it makes it Fort Wayne. So I think it's going to grow on me. I can't wait for the kits to get revealed. But my initial reaction was, man, I miss the blue already. I like the blue, right?
Yeah. So. I'll say this, like, again, Dustin and I talked a little bit on Thursday night about our thoughts and feelings, our initial reactions, but I wear a lot of black. If you don't see me out in public, or if you see me on the show, I'm usually wearing this hat, right? As opposed to my gray one that has blue and a red one that has a white logo. Like, I wear a lot of black. So this fits my style. And so I'm excited about that. and looking forward to buying all new merch and new gear. Like, I'm like, oh, cool. I get to buy new stuff.
You already did.
I did.
I was going to say.
I got the sweatshirt. I got the scarf. And I will say this, like, initial reaction, I was like, it's so different that I wasn't sure. Like, I love change. I love change. I love drastic change. But it just caught me off guard. But once I started seeing it on stuff, I liked it more, like Dustin said earlier. So Micah, you were gonna respond to that, it looked like. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, when you guys put on your scarves, simultaneously together, it looked nice. So I think I just have to get used to it. And I think as time goes on, I think I'm going to grow to love it.
Yeah. It's definitely growing on me more and more every day as I look at it. And I think when you see, again, that night they did a good job of transforming everything that was just kind of plain and dull to black and gold all around. So everybody's facing front and they had the brand reveal. And by the time they turn around, everything behind them is black and gold as well. So it was kind of an all consuming thing. And so I start picturing like what that could be in the stadium. Like, how cool that will be in a new stadium when everybody's wearing black like me. That will be awesome. I can't wait.
When you think of like when they have like certain times where it's like a blackout or you know what I mean, or a gold out, I think that will stand out and be really cool to watch. And it's easy to find black winter coats. So that's maybe that's why they did it. Maybe they knew we were going to talk about the weather in Indiana, so they were like, you know what, let's do black.
Yeah. There you go. We got a couple things going on in the chat. I just want to throw out there. Christina's asking Ryan about merch sales, how that went. I know they sold out of scarves. I'm not speaking for Ryan, but they sold out of certain scarves and some T-shirts. It was hard to find certain sizes and that sort of thing. So it was kind of cool. We have Andrew Teeple in the chat saying, definitely growing on me, like the throwback look. Definitely has a Yankees Smith and Wesson vibe to it. I've heard that a couple times too. I
heard there's the other thing I heard was Hufflepuff.
Oh yeah,
from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So from a couple people.
And then we have Dwayne back in the chat saying it reminds him of the shoulder patch for Fort Wayne Fire Department, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But love the nod to the old team while we move on to bigger and better things for sure. One thing I will say, and I want to transition us to like a broader conversation on some of these crests and some of these logos is, some of the criticism I've heard about this is it doesn't scream soccer. Like, does it say like, Fort Wayne, I get it. It represents the city, but it doesn't say anything about Fort Wayne FC, soccer, or whatever, unless you see the name Fort Wayne Football Club under it, which is true, right? Let me throw these back up here just so you can get a glimpse of what it looks like as a palate cleanser, maybe reminder, because the next thing I want to put up here is all of the USL One badges. So if you're looking on the screen or if you're listening again later this week at the 52-minute mark, check this out. All the badges from USL One. Now, what stands out as the two of you look at this, what stands out to you about these badges? How many of them, let me guide you in another question. How many of them have a soccer ball or anything soccer related in the actual crest in the badge?
Isn't there just two? Isn't it just the Cosmos, which looks like it's from the 1980s? And we talked about that earlier. And then the Union one that looks like Omaha Union, but it looks like it could be a volleyball.
Yep.
Are those the only two?
And then Corpus Christi FC has one.
Oh, yep. Okay. Yep.
Logo. So all of these crests, all of these logos, and we'll actually release this video. I'm surprised I haven't done it. Ryan Smeltzer and I did a Patreon conversation ranking some of these crests. So we'll get that out there for everyone else to see here now that we're there. Is the fact that these logos represent towns. They represent cities. They don't necessarily represent they represent the soccer team, but they don't scream we're all about soccer. So you have, South Georgia Tormenta FC has a what's that bird? What is that bird? Like, I can't believe I picked this one and I don't remember the name of that bird that's on the crest. But it's a bird that like you would see in South Georgia, right?
Pelican.
The pelican.
Like
there
you're talking
go.
about like a pelican. Okay.
There you go. And it looks like an angry pelican with a storm brewing behind it. Brian and I talked about that. Forward Madison FC has a pink flamingo as their crest, which was, I believe, if I remember correctly, was a prank that happened in the city. And it became the crest for the soccer team because it's a known story about the city. And so these all seem to represent cities and not specifically soccer teams.
Yeah. But I will say this, like, I think that the simplicity of it is nice. As you look at the other crests that you see here, I like the simplicity of ours. I like that there's not like an animal on it, to be completely honest. I think that gets you into the mascot thing where it's in like, oh, now you have a mascot and you're a pelican is your mascot or that kind of thing. We don't have that, which is nice. And I think
we have trees.
We have branches. We have branches.
Portland Hearts of Pine, or what is that one? Portland Hearts of Pine. Is that their name? Like, are they?
That's the name of the name of the team. There's a story behind it, and here's a little tidbit that you haven't seen because you haven't seen this video that Ryan and I did. Is there are on the websites of these. Each of these teams, there is a video explaining their crest and their brand.
Okay.
And so there is an explanation for the Portland Hearts of Pine and the story behind that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but that's the team name and there's a story behind it.
Okay.
So
I think the black and gold's going to stand out, right? Looking at all these crests, I think that's going to be unique to these colors.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blue in there. If you look, there's a lot of blue. And so removing the old Fort Wayne FC crest that's in there will bring maybe a different color scheme there as well.
Yeah. I like ours. Honestly, as I'm looking at the rest of these and I compare it to it, I kind of like ours more comparatively to the rest of them. I it's just classic, clean. I like that.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, Micah, Dustin, on the crest, the colors, the logo, the brand, the team, all of that?
I'm just looking forward to the jerseys. See what those are going to look like. I'm not saying that I want to go with like the Columbus Crew style, but I can see some black and gold stripes maybe.
Not do the Columbus Crew Charlie Brown jerseys. Like if you saw those last season, like when those came out, those were terrible. I don't want Charlie Brown gold with black zigzag stripe on the front of it. No. Christina, I want to ask, I know you're in the chat, you're watching. You mentioned liking the Forward Madison logo, the crest there, the wow factor there. Like, and maybe not just for Christina, but for anybody in the chat, anybody listening. If Fort Wayne went with a crest that represented a prank or something like at that level that happened in the city, what would it be? What would it be? Like maybe there is not that thing, but if it's not representing like a historical thing or parks and rivers and things like that, but if it represented something funny that happened in Fort Wayne, what would it be?
I think you have to go with the mayor. You have to. Like that's huge. That put our name on the map. Like, and that's the last thing you want to play for. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna go there, you gotta go there.
Mayor who?
Yeah. Look him up. Look it up. It's probably the first thing that comes up when you type in Fort Wayne.
There is a street named after him.
Yeah. And it's in the chat. And
okay.
If you're interested. And that would be a terrible logo. Let's just let's not.
Thank you, Andrew. Absolutely. I'm let's just be honest. Like that, if you are gonna talk about pranks or like what sets us apart, that 100% does it.
If you're not from Fort Wayne and you're not familiar with what we're talking about, look it up.
Yeah,
look it up. It made the news it made the Jimmy Kimmel show a few years ago. It was national news a few years ago. Pretty crazy stuff. So we would love to hear others besides. I know,
Micah, you thought it immediately when it happened because you looked at me and you're like,
Not growing up in Fort Wayne. One of my best friends was from Fort Wayne, and he told me that story, and I didn't believe him. Like, there's no way that is real. There's no way, but it's real. It happened.
We've got a comment from Dustin's wife here. I thought the same thing. That's why I'm married to him. There you go. So, anyway, well, hey, before this gets too far off the rails, it is.
You asked for it. You asked.
I did. I wasn't thinking. I went off script, and this is what happens when you go off script. So we're gonna shut it down tonight. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Fort Wayne Footy. John's in the chat saying, "Go Blackhawk Christian boys for sure." Congratulations, Fort Wayne Fusion girls winning the national championship. Go Blackhawk Christian boys, represent Fort Wayne well in the state championship game on Halloween night at 8:30 p.m.
We'll save you some candy
in Indianapolis. Dustin will save you some candy. I'm not promising that. And we'll see you next week on Fort Wayne Footy.